There's a lot of hype in Korea at the moment about Ezreal Mid. Showmaker has been spamming it in Korea ever since the patch dropped, where Ezreal not only received buffs, Divine Sunderer also got buffs with this new build, and Frozen Heart. I'll talk to you guys about why Frozen Heart is so core in his build now, and why it works so well in the mid lane. So without further ado, let's jump straight onto Summoner's Rift. Gentlemen, the rune page you'll be running, it's a Conqueror setup, okay? Secondaries are going Biscuit, Delivery, and Cosmic for a little bit of CDR. It makes a lot of sense. And for your Summoner spells, he's running Cleanse, okay? Now, it really depends. If you're into a really hardcore all-in matchup, something like a Zed, an Exhaust is going to be the better option. But into a comp with Engage, like a Sedge, if they potentially had a Zoe, this game it's great because they have a Sylas. But Sylas, you don't need Cleanse again. But hey, guess what? Sylas will steal Leona ult, and you're going to need that Cleanse. So you run the Cleanse, you can become very safe, and you start Q, and you just look to start auto-attacking and throwing these Qs down onto your opponents. It's a pretty bloody simple lane, and it's not the first time Ezreal Mid has been meta. There's been times where Faker has been liking AD Ezreal Mid, but a long time ago, when I played Pro, yeah, I played Pro, I'm a dinosaur, I know, there was an AP variation of Ezreal where you went Rune Glaive and you just went Smite Mid. It was the most disgusting meta. So Ezreal, look, he's not a traditional mid laner, but he's been in the mid lane before. And when he is OP, he is so oppressive to verse because of his range and his mobility in the mid lane. He actually makes sense as a mid laner, right? The only thing he lacks slightly, I'd say, is wave clear. You've got a good ultimate though. It's not the end of the day, not the end of the world, as you can see. Looking to just weave in as many autos as possible. You'll be Q maxing, guys, followed by E max, and W will be your last max on this champ. As we're looking to shove in the Sylas. The great thing about Ezreal is the E. You have so much mobility. If Zac ganks, if Viego ganks, if anyone comes into his lane, he's just able to dash out. It's super hard to get on top of him. As you see, every single time that the Sylas comes up for the wave, he'll throw his W out and then just automatically E auto for a positive trade. It's impossible for the Sylas to play. You can see the Viego hovering. Good juke. Good juke. He's waiting for his E. Has to flash the Viego. E finally comes up. You can see using his Q as much as possible. Weaves the W. And he gets a beautiful double kill to start the game. My god, you can see. Guys, with your Qs, okay? When you're hitting your Qs, it's going to be taking cooldown off of the rest of your abilities. So he was spamming that to try and get his E back up. He just gets it. And now he's going to head back to base. Grab a tier. And grab a Sheen. So the way it works, you'll be getting your tier, but you're not rushing it, okay? You want to get your Divine Sunderer first. And the best thing about Sunderer is, number one, you get Sheen Rush. Sheen Rush for Ezreal is the best buy you can possibly get because the proc on your Q. And also you get so bloody beefy. You'll see how much health you can get in the mid game with this setup. It's actually pretty disgusting, in my opinion. Ezreal becomes pretty, especially when you get the Frozen Heart, he becomes like a tank, man. But he deals a shit ton of damage. As you can see, Showmaker pulls the freeze. Beautiful wave management there. And I swear to God, if you watch my videos and you're not bloody pulling freezes these days and making the enemy mid laner have the worst time ever, then I don't know what you're doing. What are you watching? The wave's coming in. Pull it. Go into the mid lane side brush to drop the aggro. Hold the wave. You can go in and out of the brush to pick up and drop aggro if the minions are doing too much damage. Oh, the Sylas weaving a shit ton of autos. Viego coming through. He's in trouble here, trying to get the one kill. Ooh. And the Viego able to get the kill. And he didn't get any damage. The Viego executes to the tower, and Showmaker, I wouldn't say in a world of pain, but would be very frustrated from that play. When you're playing this Ezreal mid pick, guys, just make sure you're getting... You play very controlled and very smart, especially in your lower elo games. Dude, sit back, come into your items, farm. Just throw Qs in team fights. I guarantee you'll have the most insane pop-off games with like 10 kills and no deaths. It will be nuts. Even if you wanted to play really KDA heavy, you could get a Darksteel and pivot into a Medjay's if you wanted. There's nothing wrong with it. Play very low risk with this pick, because if you play high risk and you get behind in the early game, you're just going to be a sitting duck, squishy 80 carry. Like, you will do damage. Just be very patient. Take a breather, guys. Put some nice music on, okay? You get way better results than playing super in their face, high tempo, bloody trying to get solo kills here and there. Just, you know, calm it, okay? One of the best ways to play in low elo in my division, in my opinion. It's not overexerting yourself, okay? It's usually the team that makes the less mistakes that wins, or the laners that make the less mistakes. Not about making the plays, it's about making minimal mistakes, I feel, in low elo. You can see he is a little bit cautious, hanging back. Alice is slightly behind, but it really doesn't matter with Silas. If he has the levels, he has the base damage. As you can see, Zac picking up those chickens. Silas finally goes in. Everything lands. Absolutely everything. Ezreal just gets out of it. Pops the ultimate of his own. One more. And Zac picks it up. Damn, that was that was close, man. If the Ezreal ult hit from Silas, he was dead. Maybe Silas was trying to predict a flash or something, but his flash wasn't even up. Interesting. As we get an assist on that and we find Viego in the river here. Give it to the Ez. Beautiful. Hey, can I please have the scuttle? I would have taken that. As we get the third kill of the game and we're starting to get rolling here. Great thing about Ezreal as well is this. The W onto the tower to get the plates extra fast. So if your opponent is playing like a Talon or something in perma roaming, you can really punish them and get some gold from the plates. I think that plate change by Riot Games was one of the best changes they've made. Especially for the mid lane, man, because whenever you used to verse something like a Talon and they're just perma roam, and you're just sitting mid, it didn't really feel like there was no counterplay. At least now it's like, okay, you can still get a plate or two, which can amount to a kill's worth of gold. And if their roam goes bad, then you're actually in such a huge advantage. A good change by Riot Games there. There's the W, and you can just see every time he swings his W out, he's got his E ready to follow up with the auto. You gotta be cautious when using your E especially though. Don't be too greedy with it, guys, and just always be Eing in. Typical like Ezreal player is just permanently just Eing into the middle of the team. You don't need to. Sometimes hold it, especially if you're into a jungler with high gank potential like a Lee Sin or something. Just be very cautious with using your E's aggressively if you don't have vision. Showmaker there. Top side is beautifully lit like a Christmas tree. The enemy comes in, he'll just be able to jog it out. He'll pick up the blue buff. Another blue? Thank you very much, good sir. We just have perma blue in the mid lane. Ult comes out, bot lane's fighting. Spots the Viego with it too. Look at these bastards trying to gank the mid lane. Get out of there, eh? We're going to check the camp with the Qs. And here comes the Zac. I don't know, man. I don't know if this is a good gank. Yeah, it's probably a good call. I hate when people like the junglers overexert themselves in ganks and just, you know that the enemy jungler's hovering and you commit and then you just die. The worst 2v2 ever. And then the jungler blames you. We're so close to one-shotting these backlines. When you get the Sunderer, guys, you'll be able to one-shot the backlines with Q. And it's just so simple. So satisfying to play. What skin is this? Surely there's better skins than this for Ezreal. I think I played Ezreal yesterday. I played on the new Psyops? Pretty nice, pretty clean. And one thing that actually is interesting, I think Corki mid with this build as well could be solid. Not the Frozen Heart component, but the rest. I think the Sunderer buff definitely going to be helping Corki out because he's been in struggle streak for a while now. Ultimate comes up, top side, nothing able to get picked up. We're about 1.2k gold in the lead. Scaling for sure goes to the red side, I think. There's a fight's breaking out, and just look at how far back you can play on this Ezreal. Just throw your skill shots and hang back. Don't rush into it. As Jace drops, Gotta be really cautious here because the Viego picked up the Jace reset. And we're gonna have to back up. But yeah, the thing that changed in the mid lane, like, so Ezreal got a slight buff. It was like tiny. It wasn't that big. Sunderer got a slight buff, not that big. Frozen Heart, slight buff, not that big. But it just seems like a culmination of all of it together has just made Ezreal like an S tier pick. Ezreal AD carry at the moment is like, I think top 2 at the moment, maybe top 3 AD in the meta. And then Ezreal Mid. Look, Ezreal Mid's more cheesy. I wouldn't really call him meta at the moment yet. But he is being played with a very high win rate. So we'll see. Definitely a good flex pick in pro play. Ultimate comes out, goes wide. And the LCK is looking to start up soon-ish. Looking forward to that. Top 4 teams that go through the world as Philios picks up bot side. Still over onto Bang. And we'll head back to base. 112 CS at 12. Doing pretty good. As we got the Sunderer. We got our Lucidity boots, of course. Showmaker. We're passing up the chance to buy some extra CDR. And this... At this moment in the game, it just becomes stupid. You're very beefy. You have a lot of cooldown. Yet you're just piss chilling throwing Qs. It's very simple. Don't die, throw Qs. Don't die, throw Qs and deal damage. And the good thing is you just have so much mana in your kit too. You really don't have to be sparing with your mana pool. Just spam it. Mirror mana will be completed next. And third and fourth item is pretty situational. It's usually Frozen Heart and a Seralda's Grudge. The Grudge, of course, helping getting some slow. It's kind of like reminds me of old Iceborne Gauntlet Ezreal kind of vibes. And the Frozen Heart's an interesting one. The extra mana, of course, is good. If you want to play super aggro, you can get into the middle and utilize the passive. Yeah, it just seems like everyone is absolutely loving Frozen Heart on the Ezreal. A lot of pro players coming out and saying, it's a beta build, you're not a man if you're running Frozen Heart Ezreal, so insecure. Shut up. Let us abuse it for some free elo. As we're eating up on some of these plates now. And it might be a bit awkward when we drop into 1-3-1s. I don't know if Ezreal can really side lane that well. I mean, he wouldn't be horrendous at side laning because you can just use your E over a wall or something. Even the damage, hanging back. Here comes the Sedge. Ultimate goes wide. And this Braum is really annoying me. As we actually are out of mana here. We're going to need something like the blue. We're going to need the blue buff or something to defend. They might have to drop. Okay, Zac. This might be good. We just have no mana. Flash comes out. Yikes. Wait, what's up with this center build? Am I outdated or is this the new center build? Bang's building it. Usually the Koreans are pretty spot on with their builds. They're on new fresh stuff. This came from yesterday, I think so. I mean, is he going a Sunderer? He's probably going to Sunderer as well. I think it's going to get nerfed next patch, by the way. Next patch comes out on Wednesday next week. So hopefully, as we drop into the side lane, hopefully we get another week, 2 weeks of this. Be great. But I think inevitably they're going to nerf Sunderer again. I think champions are abusing it too much already. And this is how you get 10 CS per minute. If there's a side lane open, you go and occupy it. You don't sit mid sharing farm with your center and your Jace. Problem is, a lot of people drop into this side lane and they fucking die all the time. They don't know how to side lane. You got to side lane with vision. That's the number one thing. If you side lane with vision, you're fine. If you side lane in the dark, you're just playing with your fate for no reason. Almost got 360 on the Mirror Miner. We got to complete it still. I don't think he has enough, right? Probably just, yeah. Get some extra CDR. Blue Trinket always on Ezreal Mid, guys. Looking to try and snipe out objectives. The thing that separates good Ezreals from bad is your objective control. Number one, looking to steal the enemy, you know, blue and reds. It's very common for good Ezreals to be able to time this well. Also using your ultimate on opposite side lanes to set up slow shoves to help with minion waves and objective control. Like it's actually very good to try and like get a slow shove or even just clear minions out to get a hard shove in the waves to try and deny some CS and experience. You really should just be spamming the ultimate off cooldown trying to make plays. He uses that one to try and clear some waves in. You don't have teleport, so your team really does need to be cautious. Are they just going to sack the dragon? What is he doing, man? He's just a little bit... He's just sitting back here. Doesn't have the vision. Yeah, perfect. Doesn't have the vision, so doesn't want to risk it. This tower's looking bloody juicy. Up to group instead. Sedge top. Sedge top. Fight breaks out. Looking to make our way into the team fight. Let's see how it gets played. Who goes wide? Kiting, kiting, kiting. And do you see, like, you in a 1v1 scenario is complete shit. It's all about the team fight. So here comes the Viego. Ultimate goes out, doesn't land. Just trying to auto attack as much as possible. W, Q, E. Ooh, and he's got to be really careful here. Hits the cleanse. Looking to try and pick up the Sedge. And I think he's just going to die. That is absolutely terrible. And the enemy team picks up almost a 3k gold advantage off of that. And you can just, like, I don't know, man. The team was just fighting before power spikes. I think that you need to complete second and third item for Ezreal, and the center needs 2 items. They overforce, and they get punished for it. Really not what you want to see. Aphelios is doing bloody work. Aphelios is coming back into the meta too now. I hate the champion. It's so annoying versing a good Aphelios. It's great versing a bad one, don't get me wrong, but versing a good one, holy shit. Every time I think I can 1v1 him, I just go hard and he just pops me. I'm dead. Mirror Miner has been completed though, and these Qs are really going to start hitting like a truck. Oh, comes out, looking to move our way in. Aphelios does die. Showmaker able to kite. Able to pick up the Silas here. Keep weaving. Viego. Oh my god, mate. Just gotta be careful. The Zac is almost unkillable though. Come on, get in there, mate. E. There we go. Weaves the auto in. That's a shutdown as well. And I don't think we're done. We're still hunting over onto the Sedge. Using this Q, guys, on the camps. Remember what I said earlier about with the cooldowns? And they're gonna hunt. Maybe even try and set up a Baron. Oh yeah, another shutdown over onto Showmaker. And they're pinging the Baron. It's only 20 minutes. I don't know if Showmaker wants to do it. Yeah. Is he calling him off of it? He just completely goes for the side lane. Says, guys, don't be bloody silly. And that's what, like, this is Korean Challenger. Even in low elo, dude, I get baited so many times in low elo. We get like 3 or 4 kills. We go start the Nash at like 20 minutes and we just can't do it. Enemy team comes through, kills everyone, gets the Nash, and we've lost the game for absolutely no reason. Such a huge risk. But don't get me wrong, I mean, it's fun to do. I can hardly refuse it. Like, I know I shouldn't be doing it. I'm saying to myself as I'm doing it, we shouldn't be doing this. We really shouldn't be doing this. But I just can't stop. Like I'm at the casino just going for a play, because if we get it, we're probably going to win the game. No fucking way, mate. Look how much damage you get now. It's going to become increasingly hard for the enemy team to play onto the Ezreal. If you can't get on top of him, you're done. As we pick up 2 kills. Viego is very low, remember, so we should be able to start up the Nash here. And we finally have a gold lead 21 minutes in. Our zone. No one's here. Surely we get the bloody... Do we get the red buff? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, boy. In my opinion, as an unbiased mid laner, if the mid laners should be getting the red buffs if you're playing an AD carry in the mid lane. Because we're high level and we're just better than AD carry players. No offense. As you've seen, a Grudge picked up 3rd here. Now take note guys, most of the games he's actually been building Frozen Heart 3rd. In this type of game, the enemy doesn't have that many like super auto attack based champions, as we just ace tank for no reason and we drop there. And I wonder if we had the Frozen Heart we would have lived. Probably not. As don't base check brushes as Ezreal. Throw a Q in first. Would have saved a life. What's the game plan now? Just stall. I'm liking the way that Zach's playing, man. Like he's... Jesus Christ. Bang on the center. Got Sunderer and Miramon as well. You can see this build is obviously... People are starting to really favor it. Put the items together. As you can see, it will be a Frozen Heart in the 4th slot for Showmaker. A lot of chasing, a lot of uncharacteristic chasing happening for Showmaker. He's back from Iceland, I guess. He is very tilted. I don't know if you guys saw on my Twitter. I posted a tweet of his EU West account. He renamed it to I think it was Goodbye Iceland, and he went 12 or 13 losses in a row where he was just completely inting people. Like he was locking the most ridiculous picks and CSing at like 3 per minute. Like the guy just did not. He was over EUS SoloQ. The guy just got a little bit of frustration out and ran it. It is what it is. I mean, look. If you're a pro player, you probably do the same. As now is the time to kite. Trying to weave as many autos onto the Sylas as possible. I don't think he's done. WQ almost pops him. And now it's all about playing the angles. Chasing. I don't know if you want to do this. Picks up the Q onto the Braum. That's 9 kills now. As it doesn't seem like he's completely taking over, but trust me, it's just a slow, methodical poke. You're just getting them lower and lower and just you're just annoying. You're like a bloody mosquito. Don't get me wrong, you do damage to the squishy targets though. No one really gives a fuck about the dragon, fair enough. Moving across. I don't think he really needs to participate in the drag. Just shove the mid lane, mate. Start working towards the Frozen. What comes out? That wasn't aggressive. That was aggressive, E. He's starting to want to pick up this tempo now. Sedge ult comes through. Just watch Showmaker on the back end. sitting behind his tanks. Take note, don't bloody frontline. Too many mid laners. They get cocky and they just sit at the front of the team fight when they have tanks. Viego comes in, kills the center. Showmaker's able to get his 10th kill of the game there, pops through for the Viego kill. He's going to keep on weaving these autos through. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's just a slow Q, 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 and you just can't die. Thank you very much. Jace picks up a triple kill. That's going to be an ace. I wonder if this will get played in the else. Like, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know what you can play Ezreal Mid into. Like, you could potentially play it into something like an Orianna. I don't think into a Victor would be very good. Like, I mean, you used to be able to play it into things like Azir, like Corki you could play it into, but the meta at the moment doesn't really favor it. I'm not sure. Plus the enemy, I mean, it's not going to be a blind pick. You could still flex it, I guess, to the bot lane. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows? As the Frozen Heart has been completed. And this is a very aesthetic build. The items all look visually appealing in the inventory, which I like. It's important to a good build, I believe. As we get the Executioners, of course, into a Viego, a Silas, and an Aphelios. This is going to be giving you a lot of value. Making quick work of the blue buff, and we're going to run through probably for the last team fight of the game. It's only going to take one ace, and the mid lane is already open. Ultimate comes through, and you never really want to be in the front. You want Zac and Leona to be frontlining, as you're just QQQing, throwing Ws also. And then eventually, in the later stages of the fight, you can E in, get really up close and personal. Let's just watch how this team fight gets played out. Look at Showmaker all the way on the back line, okay? He's waiting for the cooldowns, and finally, as the enemy team has to back up and retreat, he goes in. And they're just making short work. This center, look at the builds, man. Like, they're just absolutely annihilating the enemy team. And that's going to run it through for the end of game. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video, guys. You've learned something. Just make sure if you're going to play this Ezreal Mid, make sure you're mechanical, because I don't want people in my DMs saying, I'm getting Ezreal Mids and they're inting and it's your fault. Look, if you're a good mechanical player, go ahead and play this. If you're not, go back to the Annie, go back to the Galio, something a little bit more simple. But until next time, boys, I love you all, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.